Welcome to Locality's Making Bank podcast, where we continue our exploration of South Florida's entrepreneurial landscape with host Keith Costello, co-founder and CEO of Locality Bank. Sit back, relax, and let South Florida visionaries guide you on an entrepreneurial journey from tribulation to triumph, sharing the very stories that have shaped them.
Anthony Clarke, welcome to Locality Bank's Making Bank podcast.
Wow. Thank you, Keith. Appreciate that.
It's great to have you here. And so Anthony and I go back a long time to the beginning of Locality Bank. Mm-hmm. When we first got opened, we opened up in general provision, mm-hmm. and which is a shared workspace. And that was where, we started from. And Anthony was there, and talking to Anthony there, gotten to know him. And he's like, why don't you guys do a podcast? And I'm like, oh, gosh, that's an interesting idea. And so Anthony got us started with our very first Making Bank series, right?
Yeah, well, you like to say that, right? But listen, I think it speaks to your level of innovation. First of all, you were starting a bank in a co-working space, right? Who does that? Only Keith, number one. And number two, when we had the conversation, you're like, look, I see the value in a podcast. And most people wouldn't, right? Especially in the banking industry, right? I'm starting this bank. Why would I want to do a podcast? I need to grow this bank, right? And you were so focused on, hey, we need media attached to this. And let's create our own narrative. Let's get our stories out. Let's back it. And I thought that was such a brilliant idea. So it's not me, it's you.
Well, I'll give you a lot of credit. You got us started on that, and you did a great job with it.
Thank you.
And we wouldn't have started without you. So, and it was well done, well put together. I think you actually came up with our theme song. You had a lot of
we created the name together.
Yeah,
we did.
That's right.
Yeah.
A lot of cool innovations, getting that started. But so thank you for that. I appreciate it.
For sure.
And we've been in touch through the years, and I'm really excited to have you on today. And, this is not about me and, the podcast. It's about you. And we want to talk about, your story and, start back. Tell us where you're from, where you grew up, and kind of what your childhood was like.
Yeah. So I'm from Fort Lauderdale, born in Fort Lauderdale.
Wow.
I grew up in Sunrise. So Sunrise, Florida. So you would, I guess, typically East Sunrise, you would call that. So grew up with a family, mother and father in the home. I had an older brother and a twin sister growing up. I have a younger brother who came much later. Okay. But grew up, 3 of us in the house, 5 of us in total. My father is from Jamaica, came here in the late 80s, mid 80s. My mom is from South Carolina. She came to Florida around the same time. They actually met here while she was visiting, looking for a job. So anyway, grew up. We were kind of, I would call it middle class adjacent. It was like clinging to life for middle class. My mother and father, they worked really hard. My father was like the stereotypical Jamaican, right? 2 jobs, 3 jobs, whatever.
I was going to say just 2?
You're right, exactly. So he reminds me often. He delivered newspapers. He worked at Kentucky Fried Chicken. He moved his way up and went and got a computer engineering degree. I started working for Allied Signal. Working on computer parts and plane parts for Boeing and all the plane companies. And so all these things, constantly just working his way up on the ladder. And then now he's a lieutenant for BSO.
Wow.
Right? So
cool.
He just always kept working. My mother, we laugh about it all the time. She's worked 14 jobs. Wow. Right? Call centers, all things. And now she's an account manager for a huge medical software company. So that's how we grew up, just always clinging from that middle class. We knew poverty was like right down the street. Yeah. But they always kept working, trying to provide. And so I always noticed that about them. We couldn't ask for much. We didn't have money for things, but we always had a roof over our head. Lights were always on, water running, food in the fridge. So very thankful for that.
Wow. That's a great a comment really about, a lot of people in this country grow up like that, right? Mm-hmm. With hardworking parents, working hard and, clinging to that middle class life. And I think for a lot of people, that's true too. Poverty is just around the corner, and it's like, that fear, that's what drives people.
Indeed.
And it's good and bad, right?
Yeah.
But I think, not about me, but I'm a big believer in hard work, and that's kind of how I grew up too. It's like, I learned that work ethic lesson, and that's so important, Anthony. And that's great that your parents, you observed that. They didn't have to teach you that.
Yeah,
you saw that.
And my father had never sat down with me and had a conversation about like hard work. Most of his lessons that I've learned from him have been through just pure watching him. Example.
Wow.
I remember when my mother was diagnosed with breast cancer. She's cancer-free now.
Thank God.
She was diagnosed with breast cancer. She could not work. And she literally had no income coming in from her job. I saw my father work his job, start laying tile. He's never laid tile in his life. Learn how to lay tile, go lay tile with his friends, and go like people's cable up at their houses with his friends who work for like Comcast and things.
Yeah.
And he would just ride along with them, and they would just pay him, some money on the side. And I just saw him do all of that at a drop of a dime. Nobody had to tell him to do that, but he knew he had to secure his family, and he would just work hard to do whatever he had to do. And I saw that as a young man, and it's always just like been burned in me.
I love that story. That's beautiful. And so you grew up here in Fort Lauderdale.
Yep.
And then as you got older, where'd you go from there?
So, okay. So growing up, I've just always been a super creative person. Very driven. My mother likes to call it very tunnel visioned. So school days, I didn't really know what I wanted to do or be when I got older, but I always had a knack for business or just vision, if you will. School, so I owe a lot of people money growing up because people would give me their lunch money for different ideas that I had. So I would say, hey, listen, I know the garbage truck comes around and they bulk pick up, maybe once every couple months, whatever. And people would put out parts and things like that on the corner. And so my friends and I would go around on our bikes and we'd pick up engine parts, lawnmower engines, whatever. And we would try to build go-karts and things like that. So I would go back to school and tell everybody, hey, I have a go-kart company and we're going to build go-karts. And so literally they would every day come in and give me $2, things like that. But I just knew I knew that I could cast a vision and people would listen at a young age. And so when I got older and I graduated high school, I didn't know exactly what I wanted to do. I had a knack for writing. I was really good at English, took English honors and things like that in high school. And so I went for mass communications. And I quickly discovered this is not for me. And I was in college at Broward College.
Okay.
Because I didn't want to go away to school. And I just didn't know what I wanted to do. And at the time, I was on the internet and I saw this guy. Actually, you know him, Gene. So I messaged Gene online because he was the first person I saw.
Gene, who does the videography.
Exactly.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
Exactly. First person I saw actually being a real life entrepreneur. I didn't know any entrepreneurs. I didn't grow up around entrepreneurship. I didn't know much about actual business. Like I said, I knew how to cast a vision. I knew that people could own businesses, but I didn't know anything about it.
Right.
So I saw Gene. He was just always looked so cool. He was just posting these photos and things like that, and always in like nightlife in Miami. And so I shot him a message. I said, hey, could we talk? I would love to learn about what you do. And so he said, yeah. So drove up to Miami, met up with him, and I found out that he was doing promotions for clubs on South Beach. And they would give him flyers. And
what year is this? Like
2009.
Okay.
2009. Yeah.
People are partying in because the economy's going in the tank.
Exactly. Right. Exactly. So 2009. So he tells me all about it. And I'm like, oh, really? So he's like, yeah, you want to help? I'm like, sure. So he's like, meet me on South Beach. So I go to South Beach, and the first night he gives me, I don't know, $15 an hour or something like that. and I'm passing out flyers on the corner, on a random corner to people passing by.
Yeah.
And it struck me like lightning. I want to do this. The interactions between people and what's on the flyer and what I say and how it affects the person, if they take the flyer or not, if they get upset, if they're happy, that interaction felt so natural to me. And I said, this is what I want to do. I want to learn all about this. And that's how I got into marketing.
Okay.
So I started reading because, of course, I love reading.
Yeah.
So I started reading books like The Brand Within by Damon John. That was the first branding book I read. Started reading, all the classics.
Sure.
And it just drove me off the deep end. And I was like, well, I want to do this full time. And so I started to learn how Gene started to build relationships with the clubs. And I started to build my own relationships with the clubs. So instead of passing out the flyers, they would give me the box of flyers. And then I would pay other people to pass out the flyers.
Got it.
And then that's how we started. That's how I started in marketing.
And then you started doing more and more promotions down on South Beach?
Yeah. And so I was only 20. I wasn't even 21 yet. So I couldn't even get into the clubs. And I have a good friend named Andre, and he had this vision that he wanted to start a media company. And he was older than me. So he had a credit card at the time. He said, look, I have this credit card. I'm going to go to Best Buy. I'm going to buy a camera.
Okay. And
this camera is going to be our golden ticket into the clubs. And he was right. We would show up with the camera and the bouncers would go, "You here to take photos?" We're like, "Yeah." And he would just let us in. We wouldn't even check the ID or anything. So we would go in, take the photos, take the videos, and then we would post them online the same night. So we would go in, say 1 a.m. Our photos would be online by 4 a.m. Edited, logos, everything. People wake up in the morning from the party and they see all their photos. And they're like, "Oh my, this is incredible." And so that started to spread like wildfire. And then we started getting invited by celebrities and all kinds of things to do media. And so that was my first company. So that's how I got dumped into entrepreneurship.
Nice. Okay. So that was your first company. And then where'd you go from there?
So,
whatever happened to that company?
The guys were older. So Andre was older than me and also our other partner, David. So David, got married, started having children, things like that. So he's like, "Listen,
I can't hang out on South Beach.
You guys can't be at my apartment 4 o'clock in the morning editing photos. Like it's just, we can't live like this anymore." And so I was just young and hungry. And I had a friend named Steve who he just graduated from Nova. Brilliant guy. And he approached me about teaming up and opening an agency, a marketing agency. And we started to learn together. We started to study marketing. We started to go after clients together. We didn't really get far, but we said, "Hey, there was this new thing called a podcast in 2014. We started a podcast, and that was
2014. So you're early to the podcast.
Yeah, for sure. Very early. And we started to invite entrepreneurs onto our podcast. And we started to learn from them, and that started to parlay into business relationships. And we end up folding that agency that we had. And I just took some time to take a step back and figure out, okay, what do I exactly want to do with this? I have this marketing knowledge now from all this experience I've gained, right? We're talking about, I've done everything, paid ads and graphics and physical campaigns, the whole nine. And I took some time and I said, all right, I want to start my own agency, which birthed the original version of what we have now, which is ACC Unlimited. ACC Unlimited, it was called ACC Branding.
Okay.
When I first started.
That was the first one.
Yep.
And when did you start ACC Branding?
So ACC Branding was birthed about 2017, 17 and 18. Yeah. And so I woke up and I said, all right, we're going to start ACC Branding. And we started there. Yeah.
And then you morphed into ACC. What was the difference?
So the difference
Unlimited?
was ACC Branding. First of all, the name always bothered me because I felt like we were
Those are your initials.
It is. But branding bothered me because I felt like we were so much more than branding. Okay. And the name was pigeonholing us.
I got you.
Most people didn't know that, hey, we provide so much more services.
And now you got the Infinity logo.
Right, exactly. Yep, unlimited.
So, yeah.
Exactly.
Interesting.
So in branding, it's like people don't know that we provide content production services, and we can help you along so many other lines outside of just designing a logo or a brand kit. That's the least of our services, right? So I say, you know what? We have to revamp what we're doing, and not just the name, but who we are and how we service our clients. And something that I've always noticed is people will pay for the exchange of high value, right? People's money is worth a lot. And if they're going to give you some of that, they need the highest form of value in exchange for that. Mm-hmm. And what people hate is giving the money and then they get exactly what they paid for. Like, okay, great. But you know what's even better? When they walk away feeling like they got more for what they paid. And I said, that's when we service our clients, we want everybody to feel like, I can't go anywhere else because these people provide unlimited services, right? I tell and this means we care about our clients, right? Everybody's like, oh, we want to be partners. Let us be your value partner. No, we actually want to care. We want you to like us so much that you will leave your children around us. You're like, that's our goal. And so unlimited service, unlimited, right? So whatever you need, we can help you do that. So when it comes to our marketing, you're not pigeonholed because our bullet points say that we can only do 10 posts for you per month. No, because you might require 40, So if the strategy calls for that, then we need to do that.
I mean, I love that. That there's a lot there's a lot in that statement, mm-hmm. right? Mm-hmm. Providing more value, like you pay for something, you just get what you expect. Mm-hmm. That's not really an exceptional customer experience.
Right.
Mm-hmm. You get more.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
I think there's a lot in that statement and in the way you build your company around that philosophy. Mm-hmm. I love that, Anthony.
Thank you.
Yeah. I mean, so how's it going?
Great. So ACC Unlimited. So we actually, we niched all the way down.
Okay.
And so we work with majority restaurants and hospitality brands.
Okay.
Those are the people that we focus on because we know them intimately. We know restaurant operators are nuts, right? They're going crazy.
Do you still do clubs or strictly?
No
bars?
No. Well, yes.
Bars and restaurants.
Right. We can help with bars and things like that.
But not the clubs.
Not so much, no.
Right. Those days are over.
Oh, yeah. I'm old, Keith.
And I know your wife. She didn't want you hanging out in those bars.
No, she's like, no, thank you.
Yeah.
So restaurants and hospitality brands, so hotels also. And so we focus there because, like I said, we know them. We know their pain points. And not only do we know the pain points, but we've serviced those pain points at a really high level. And so once we started doing that, it's like, hey, I think we're actually a really good fit for this industry. Let's take the big leap and actually niche down. It was a scary move. You feel like you're cutting out all of your other possibilities. Right. But I was like, I think this is the best move, and it's turned out to be really good for us.
That I love that because I think it takes a lot of courage to niche down. Mm-hmm. But I think it also can lead to a lot of success. I mean, I think a lot of more companies get in trouble trying to do too much for too many different companies or industries.
Yeah.
Then people get in trouble by focusing.
Yeah, indeed.
But it's scary to focus because you're like, oh, what about Keith's Bank? I could do marketing for them. But what about this guy that is my neighbor who's got a plumbing company? Exactly. And, but you say, oh, I'm focused on restaurants.
Yeah.
I think, and that's working for you?
Yeah, it's working, right?
Good.
I think there is the power in the niche. When we were niching that, we considered three things. How many of these people exist that are these companies that we exist? We know. There's no shortage on restaurants.
Right. There's a lot of
That's
them.
one.
And more coming every day.
Right. Number two, what is the spending power, right, of these people, of these operators? Right. Of course, you're going to have your new operators that don't have much budget for marketing, but there's ways they can be serviced also. But for the most part, the restaurant industry, if the value is there, then the budget is there for marketing. That's two. Number three, how easy is it for us to find them, right? As far as advertising goes, can we advertise them? Can we find them easily? Yes. So once we answer those 3 questions, we're like, okay, we can do this.
Good. So in terms of, your career, you've really never worked for anybody, have you?
So I have.
Okay.
So as a teenager, I think I want to say in my early 20s too. My last job was in law. So I was actually a paralegal.
Oh, wow.
Yes. So I worked in foreclosure firms when those were really hot at one point in time. And then
it's probably around the same time the clubs were
exactly.
Yeah.
And then I went into the last firm was a collections firm.
Okay.
And I was doing garnishments. But yeah, I'm really good at organization and structure. If you can show me a process, I can make that process great, and we can work through it and we can find success. And that's why I was really good at that firm. They were like, hey, can you write all of our SOPs for the litigation department? Sure, right? Things like that. But just because I'm good at it doesn't mean I actually want to do this.
Right.
And, at the time, the agency was starting to grow. And literally, I was in the bathroom like every 30 minutes answering the phone. And it started to get really complicated. It's like at one point in time, my supervisor, God bless her, she would just let me stay in her office for hours. And she was like, just do what you need to do.
Wow, that's very cool.
Oh my God. Yeah. God bless her, right? So at a certain point, I was like, all right, I think I have to make a choice. Because the business is calling me and I'm meeting more high-powered people. And these people are busy during the time that I'm at work.
Yeah.
And I'm calling them back after 5 and they're like, hey, let's talk tomorrow. I only got 30 minutes on my lunch break.
Right.
So I had to make a hard decision. And I figured, okay, I was still young.
Were you married yet?
No, not married yet. Still young, no kids, not married yet. My wife and I were dating.
Yeah.
And I said, all right, I think it's the time. Very scary. And I made the leap.
Well, I mean, thank you for sharing that, because that's huge. You were working. I'm sure your parents were happy. You're working hard. You're making money.
Yeah.
you got that job. But then you decided to make that leap. How did that go with your parents? What did they think?
Oh, man, excellent question. Excellent question. So I was more scared than they were.
Really?
Yeah, because, they've worked. They're hard workers. And, I remember something that my mom told me years ago when I was young as a child. So they actually went off and started a cleaning company called Clean Sweep. Now, I had no clue that they did this because they never told us that they actually did this.
Yeah.
But I remember it didn't last long. And then my mother approached me. We were having a conversation and she was talking to me and she said, hey, let me tell you. She said, never give up easily. She said, because things are hard doesn't mean that you give up. She said, we gave up way too early for that. She's like, you don't do that. And I'll never forget her telling me that. Now, when I think the hardest part was me telling them that I was quitting school to go and build this company on South Beach. That was hard. So when I made the call to them and said, hey guys, I think I'm going to make this jump and go full time. Shockingly, they both had the same response. Great.
Wow.
Great.
Oh,
and I was like, wait, what?
Yeah.
Who are you and what do you do with my parents? But they believed in me so much. And that was reassuring for me.
Wow. Well, that's a great story. What other advice do you have for, there's probably people out there right now who are going into the bathroom, while they're at their job. Yeah. Might be somebody in our bathroom. I better check.
I hope not.
I hope not too. But, so what advice do you have for people who might be in that same situation?
Wow. I was actually thinking about that.
Yeah.
This is my advice. Learn as much as possible from your job. Your job hired you because they're in a place to do so. That means there has been some success somewhere.
Yeah.
Whether that's been in the processes, the leadership. Notice what they do right and learn from it. Write it down. My law job, I learned, this is all a big process. They're really good at SOPs. A case comes in the building, it goes through the departments, people do what they have to do, they pass it along. There's a case management system, right? We're all required to notify everybody. We're required to notate every file, everything. I learned all of that and I took it with me. That's number one. Number two, work the job as long as possible. If I could go back, I think I would work my job a little bit longer. The job is your first investor, right? It's your capital. So work it, save the money as much as you can. And then once you can no longer, then jump.
Yeah.
But sometimes passion can cloud actual great decision making. So go with great decision making over your passion. The passion, I know it's burning and I know you're like, I can't stand this job and I want to do it today. Make sure it makes sense before you do it.
I think that's some of the best advice we've had, because we've talked to successful entrepreneurs and we've talked to some that are having really hard times, and it's not always, all smiles and giggles,
exactly.
right? There's some really tough times.
Yeah.
And I think that advice is really good to make sure not to let the passion cloud your judgment. That's really good advice, Anthony. And to think it through. And also, entrepreneurship's not for everybody.
It's not. It's not.
That steady paycheck, there's something to be said for that.
Let me tell you, a huge decision that I made was for when I quit the job was I had this new client and he gave me it was like a $3,000 check. I was like, yes. So he signed on for 90 days. So yeah. You get $3,000 for the next 2 months. So I was like, great. I never got paid from that guy again. So I quit. Like, yes, okay. Finally making some moves. All right, got some new clientele. Right, it's the biggest check that I got, and that was it. He didn't care anything about our agreement. Our agreement went out the window.
Welcome to the business world,
exactly, right? Exactly. So things like that can happen and will happen,
Absolutely.
And those are things you can't account for.
Wow, well, that's great. What does the future look like for you?
Wow. The future for us. So what we want to do, and we've won Best Ad Agency in Fort Lauderdale, right? In 2024 and 23.
Wow.
And so we want to continue being the best ad agency.
Best ad agency
in Fort Lauderdale Magazine. Yeah.
Fort Lauderdale Magazine.
Yes.
Wow. That's great.
Thank you. So we want to continue being the best. Thank you. We want to continue being the best. And when I say being the best, it just doesn't mean like in competition or competing with every other agency. It just means being the best to our clients. So we have a really low churn rate, thank God. When our clients sign on with us, they don't go anywhere for years. We have a client that we've been working with for 7 years. Wow. We worked with him when he had...
So that's since the beginning, since you first opened.
Exactly. Yeah. One restaurant. He had one restaurant, one food truck. He has 5 food trucks, 4 locations. 7 food trucks now, right? Wow. And we went from spending, a couple $100s on ads with him to now we spend over, $2 million a year in ads with him. And we've grown with him since the beginning. We
need him as a locality.
Oh, yeah,
client.
For sure. I'll definitely make the connection.
Yeah.
For sure. We have another young lady. She's been with us for the last 2 years. And, she's like, I'm not going anywhere. She's like, you guys make me feel so seen, make me feel like I'm not crazy. When I make these phone calls, someone always has an answer for me. And when you guys don't have an answer, you find it. And so that's what we want to continue doing. Providing that unlimited value, as we say, to our clients. That's the future for us.
It's great. Well, anything you would do differently? I mean, one thing you said you would work at your job a little bit longer, but anything else that you would do differently as you look back?
No, I wouldn't do anything differently. I think every lesson that I've learned has been extremely valuable. I believe there was a guest on your podcast early days. I forgot his name, so I won't butcher his name. But I remember he was saying his first employee, if he could go back, he would hire a CFO. He said that would be his first employee. And I said, you know what? I think I would too. So maybe that would be my answer also. I think
Okay.
my first employee would be a finance guy.
You know, it's interesting as a banker, and we deal with a lot of, smaller businesses. And I think that is something a lot of times that we tell people, they come into a bank for a loan and we're like, oh my gosh, what?
Yeah.
You've got to have a good handle on your numbers.
Yeah.
And it might not be technically a CFO, but a good
Controller, a bookkeeper.
Somebody who's really got a handle on the finances, understands finances.
Exactly.
And one thing I'll say, Gamal Kodner, who was on the podcast.
Yes.
So I talked with him. Thank you for that introduction to him. We talk a lot about cash flow, right? Cash flow is really the most important thing, right? You can have a business that's growing in leaps and bounds and has negative cash flow.
Yeah.
And, at the end of the day, there's no money in the bank.
Exactly.
And you got bills to pay, you got employees to pay, and you're struggling because you don't understand the difference between sales and your basic cash flow
Right,
at the end of the day.
Right,
Before you're putting all your money back into the business, which is not bad, but you just have to understand that. So
Indeed.
I think that having that good financial advisor, and a lot of times it could be somebody even part-time that's good. So anyway, and we know some great ones too. We know some great CPAs, some great bookkeepers that we are happy to recommend to our clients, and we do. Well, thank you, Anthony. So I want to go now to the lightning round.
Okay, I'm nervous.
Yeah, don't be nervous. You just you can say whatever you want. There's no right or wrong answers to this. This is just you. So you mentioned a book earlier by Damon John.
Yeah.
So is that your favorite book, or you have others that you would say
I have
a real favorite book? Well, just give us one more.
I will say, okay. And I know he's a really popular influencer right now. I'm not just saying this because he's popular.
Okay.
But his book has literally changed a lot for me.
Okay.
$100 Million Offers by Alex Hormozi. And a lot of people listening to this podcast will know who he is. But that book, I've studied it like the Bible. I found that his strategies are really hard hitting.
So $100 million offer?
Offers, yes. Offers. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Very good book on marketing and how to develop a solid offer, how to find people's pain points and answer those questions that they have about your service before they even think of them, right? I think the subtitle of the book is Offers So Irresistible That It Feels Stupid Saying No, something like that. Yeah.
I'm getting that book.
It's really good. Yeah, very good book.
I wrote that one down. Okay. You might want to pass on this one because I know you have a lot of restaurant customers, but what is your favorite restaurant?
So my favorite restaurant, man. This restaurant is actually not a client of ours.
Okay.
It was actually my favorite restaurant in Fort Lauderdale. It's Runway. So Runway 84. Anthony's Runway.
Well, maybe we'll bring those. Maybe they'll hear this.
Yeah. Mark Falsetto, if you're listening, listen.
There you go. Anthony's available.
Yeah.
If you guys want him.
Have you ever been?
Oh, I love that place.
Okay,
Are you kidding me?
It's
the best. Yeah. We'll have to go there.
Please. My cousin's over entertainment there. So,
oh, really?
Yeah, he handles the entire band.
Oh my God, those guys, that makes the place really at night.
Yeah.
But I also go there for the Friday lunch sometimes.
The power lunch.
It's just great.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Great.
What is the best piece of advice you've ever received?
Wow. See, now that one I'm not prepared for. Best piece of advice. I will have to take a page out of the Jamaican proverb book.
Okay.
If you don't know, Jamaicans are full of proverbs.
Okay.
They speak in proverbs.
I'll write this one down.
And my father, he's always said my entire life, the humblest calf gets the most milk. Yeah, that's what he said to me.
I'm writing that one down. Good stuff out of you today.
Yeah.
And I also, your mom telling you can do, never give up.
Yes, right.
Don't give up.
And I have to shout her out because she's also told me, have faith the size of a mustard seed. And that was a conversation that we had. I've never forgotten that. Just have faith the size of a mustard seed. That's all you need. A mustard seed is like this big. And that's all the faith you need to move mountains.
Those are great. What's something you're grateful for today?
I am grateful for my family, my daughter, my wife, and my team. Right now, we have an excellent team at the agency. And I mean, I'm here doing this podcast because, they're great at their jobs, right? Our clients feel taken care of and, things are happening. One of our team members are here and I hear his keyboard clicking away right now. So he's actually,
I love that. Yeah. So I feel that way a lot too. When I'm out doing something else and I know, there's such a great team here at Locality Bank. I can relate to that. What's a fear you've overcome?
A fear that I've overcome. Man, Keith, you have some hard-hitting questions today.
Brian came up with all these.
A fear that I've overcome. Man, if I had to think about that, I guess a fear that I've had was becoming a father. It was an aspiration of mine. I want to become a father, but very scary territory, right?
Yeah.
And it's fearful in a sense because I don't know what's on the other side of this. Never had a child before. How do you care for somebody from birth? It's an insane concept.
Yeah.
And my daughter's 5 now, and I don't know. I feel like I've been a great father. So I've overcome that fear.
Wow, she's 5. That's
Yes,
great. I remember her coming into GP as a little girl, a little baby.
Indeed, right.
That's awesome. How's your wife doing?
Oh, she's doing phenomenal.
She's still writing books?
Yes. So she's an author. And then she's also now a teacher mentor coach. So she goes into schools and she leads these teachers and coaches them in the right way and how to educate their students. So yeah, she's doing really well.
Glad to hear that. What is a new skill you're learning?
A new skill that I'm learning. Back to finance. Learning, speaking financial language. I know the basics. I know how to, do some managing, some bookkeeping, things like that. But it's something that I want to go deeper in. I don't want to become a CPA or a CFO, but I want to know finances intimately. I want to know how does this work, right? Like how do things work? Because there's a language spoken when it comes to finance, and you have to learn how to speak those languages. So I've been reading a lot of different books, speaking to a lot of different smart people. And just learning. That's where I am.
Well, if we can help you with that, this is a House of Finance right here. Indeed, so you let us know. We're happy to.
Of course.
Do you have a favorite podcast?
Ooh, a favorite podcast. I have a few.
Other than Making Bank.
Right. Love this podcast. Listen to it. Love this pod. And besides my own, right?
And yours.
So I have leisure podcast and I have productivity podcast.
Yeah.
So productivity, I would have to say there's a podcast by the name of Market Mondays that I listen to. Very good podcast on business, stocks, and bonds and things. The latest financial news.
Yeah.
I love that pod. Listen to it every Monday. And then a leisure pod, which I just kind of play in the background, and it can be. They literally talk about just anything and it's hilarious. Daddy Issues. And
Daddy Issues?
Yeah. I have no idea how I found it. There's a bunch of comedians and they just talk about the most random topics. And so sometimes I tune into them just when I need to
laugh
and kind of just let something play. Cause sometimes, you're so in your vision and you're just like, all right, I need to zoom out really quickly. And so that's a good release for me.
So that's a good segue into the next question. Like, what do you do to release, and what hobbies do you have, or what do you work out, or what types of things?
Okay. So working out is new for me.
Okay.
I've always worked out here and there, but for the last, I would say year, I've really been focused on my health in fitness.
Good for
you. You're really a huge inspiration. You don't know, but there's a huge Keith poster on my refrigerator. And I'm like, gotta get to Keith. But no, I lost 35 pounds over the last 8 months or so. Awesome.
You look great.
Thank you. I appreciate it. And I've been really focused on that. So that's new for me. It's helped me so much mentally. I'm so much clearer. I feel better, feel great. And I think on a really higher level, in my opinion. So yeah, that's been really good for me. So fitness helps. And then playing T-Rex with my daughter.
Nice.
She calls me Daddy T-Rex. And I have to go, raw. So that's
That's cool. You know, it's interesting when you think about fitness and health too. And I've got 4 kids. I always thought I want to be able to be there for my kids.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's inspiring when you have children and you relate that to, because, you know, you can say, oh, it's self-centered to like work out, all this. But, you know, you're doing that really for your family, for your children,
Mm-hmm.
for your grandchildren.
Indeed.
Be there for them.
Indeed.
Right?
Yes, indeed. Right.
That's excellent. So how can people get in touch with you?
Wow.
All those restaurants watching that need help.
Yeah,
all restaurants need more people in their seats.
They do, right? You need foot traffic. You need online orders. Come on, guys.
Yeah.
Let's think about it. But you can find me. Our website for the agency is ACCUNLTD.com. Our agency is ACC Unlimited. So you can find all information on us there, our portfolio and case studies and things like that.
So the website is what again?
ACCUNLTD.com. So it's our agency abbreviated.
UNLTD.
LTD.
Got it. Okay. Yeah. I just want to stress that because that's a tough.
I know.
That's a tough one.
I tried. Someone owns ACCUnlimited.com and they want $1 billion for it. I'm not paying them for it. So I said, you know what? We'll abbreviate.
Yeah.
But you can find me online also. On LinkedIn, I'm Anthony Clarke. You can find me there. You can find our agency on Instagram at ACC Unlimited. Find us there. So good. We're all around.
Well, great. You want to give your phone number out?
Sure. Yeah. Sure. So my cell, I'll give my cell, 954-673-0546. That's my personal cell.
All you restaurateurs out there, if you need more people in your seats, give Anthony a call.
Please, please. We'd love to help.
And he'd love to hear from Mark Falsetto.
Yes, Mark. Mark, love what you're doing.
I don't think he needs any help with the seats there.
They're on fire, man. They're on fire. They got a caviar concept coming. Yeah. Love Mark, man.
Yeah. Well, good. Anthony, thanks so much. It's been a real pleasure. You gave us a lot of good stuff today. This is one of the best, I think, Ryan, right? I mean, this has been really a pleasure.
Thanks, Keith. I appreciate it.
And I'm so proud of what you've accomplished.
Thank you.
Keep up the good work, man.
Thank you, man. Listen, friends like you make it easy.
Yeah, and you're a Locality Bank customer, and he talks so great about us. We love that.
Well, thank you, Keith. Appreciate you.
Thanks for tuning in to Locality's Making Bank podcast. Be sure to subscribe on your favorite podcast platform to catch the latest episodes, and visit localitybank.com today to learn more about all the benefits of banking local.